Okay, guys, we're going to do an introduction to Visio, a much needed tool for any engineer. Okay, and although you might not be in that position just yet, this skill set is needed across the board. Even a simple network diagram helps other people understand the problem that you're having, helps Cisco understand issues that you're having, giving them an overlay outlook of how things are connected from end to end. Okay? And this is something that I've never seen taught in a networking course, which I think is a crime. Okay? Now, starting off with a blank sheet. Okay? First thing we want to do is we want to go over here, okay, to more shapes. And we're going to click on more shapes, okay? All right, we have my shapes. Now, my shapes are things that you save in your favorites or in my shapes folder, okay? All right, you can open up a stencil, okay? All right, let's go to a stencil here. Let's see if I have any. All right, data. There we go. Okay, this stencil that you would download from the vendor site, okay, it will give you, Cisco has stencils as well, okay, all right, let's say at SXR 2000 or 202, okay, all right, now, by holding the control key and moving your scroll button up, okay, we can actually make the actual page bigger, okay, by zooming in. Now, each one of these squares on this grid, okay, are important because as you scroll in, okay, your line, because line, when you move like a line, actually, let me show you real quick. All right, we go to the pointing tool and create a line, okay, and we're just gonna make a line here. All right, go back to the pointing tool so I can move my line. You see how it snaps? Now watch. See how far it snaps from corner to corner. Let me zoom in and look how these things get smaller, these squares. And watch how I can move it now. Okay? I can actually move it to that one. It still goes from corner to corner, but the boxes are more, okay, this is what we call a low level view. We're getting deep into it, okay? I can go all the way in, all right, and do it from that way. Now, if you want to see it better, how do we change the thickness of the line? We right click on it, okay? We go to data. No, I'm sorry, format shape, I'm sorry. Okay, we go to line, all right? And you gotta excuse me, guys. It's been a long time since I've used Visio from a perspective of teaching it at this level, so I apologize. All right, and we got our color right here. We could change our color, okay? We could change the transparency of that line, making it transparent, okay? And then this is our width, okay? See how bigger it gets? But we want a nice small line, which is 0, okay? All right, and we're going to turn this back to black so we can see it. All right, and now my line can easily move. We can see it move, okay? Now, keep in mind that this line over here, this point over here, stays in place as we move the line, okay? All right, but as you see, I can actually select it and make my line longer, okay? I can make it shorter. All right, I could change the direction. All right, 45-degree angle if I want to. All right, it just snaps in place, okay? All right, now, this might not want to zoom in, right? As the document's looking at this, we want to see the devices. So we just move that bad boy up here and we enlarge this device. And notice it snaps as well, and just keep it in place. Now, again, this is your entire document. I mean, you're not going to want to have a device this big unless that's what you want. Okay, if you're only having two devices, maybe, okay, we're going to control and paste, control C to copy, control V to paste, okay, all right, and all this space here, when I select this, okay, all you got to do is unselect it and then reselect it. All right, so now I have the other device, okay, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to connect these devices, all right, by going back to my line tool, by clicking here, all right, and notice I can go from interface to interface, all right. Now I created the line already, so I'm just going to go back to the pointing tool and extend this line and connect it to that point. Now your line is not straight, okay. All right, when you create diagrams, being very specific is important. Okay, so I'm going to select this device and using the arrow keys on the keyboard, okay, I'm just going to move it over to the right. Now, as I zoom in, this movement becomes less and less. Let's say I wanted to move this line over a little bit. Oops. Okay, see how far it goes? But look, I'm going to zoom in and watch how specific I can be getting that bad boy right in the center. Okay? All right? And the cool thing is, if I wanted to find out if I'm right in the center, I can judge it that way and then come back down and just put it in the middle. All right? Pretty cool, huh? Now, let's go ahead and get rid of this. This is how you put your stencils in. The stencils make your diagrams look so much better. Okay? So, check this out. All right? When I'm leading a team, this is what I do. I require stencils for network diagrams. Okay? All right, let's zoom in here. This is a chassis. And why can I not? I guess I got to do it this. Oh, is that a module? That's an express card. I'm sorry. I guess they don't have any chassis in here. Okay, all right, that's fine. All right, now, number one thing is if I want to go for a cloud, let's go ahead and do a search up here. All right, and just type in the word cloud. Okay, and there's your cloud. Okay, big, right? That's because I'm zoomed in. All right, your normal network shapes. Okay. All right, oops. Let's go to stencils. Let's go to more shapes. Let's go to network. Okay, and we want to use the 3D versions of network symbols. Okay, there's your router. There's your switch. Okay, I want PCs now, so I'm going to go to more shapes and what am I looking for? Network, I'm sorry. And we're going to go to computers and monitors. All right, and there is my PC. All right, and bring this down here. Okay, scroll out, scroll up. Okay, all this done with keyboard and mouse. All right, notice as I move this around, when it gets aligned with either the edge or the center of another object, it gives you a guideline. Okay, isn't that sweet? So I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the middle of the switch. All right, and now, okay, I don't do this. I don't use connectors. Okay, but you can go here, okay, and use a right here, a connector. Okay, and go from here to here. All right, and be done. I don't do that. I like to be very specific with my documents. Okay, all right. I like drawing lines from point to point. All right, it's going to show you where the point is. Now, check this out. If I put this here, okay, whenever I move this object, okay, watch what happens to the line. The line stays. What happens if I want the line to go with the object? That's when I'm going to snap it by bringing the line up until that green little dot highlights. And now that line is connected to that object. Okay, so when I move it, the line moves with it. Tell me that's not cool. Now here's another cool thing, okay? All right, I don't want to have to move, whenever I move this switch, okay, I just want to select this switch, okay, and select this PC as well, all right, in one thing. Now, before I show you that now, look how nasty this looks with the line. Actually, you can see the line going over the object. So let's go ahead and select this object, all right. We're going to say data. Is it data? No. Here it is. Here it is. I'm sorry. Bring to front. So let's do that again. Right click on the object and we're going to go ahead and use this shape here, which is bring to front. Okay? Bring forward or bring to front. Bring to front means it's going to bring it on the top of everything. Bring forward means you're going to go one level forward. All right, maybe you have 5 or 6 different layers on, sitting on top of each other, and you just want to move it forward one layer. So I'm going to bring it to the front, and I'm going to go ahead and bring this to the front. Now, doesn't that look so much better? And look, because I have it snapped in place, my line still moves. Okay? However, I want these two to move together. I don't want to have to keep moving both objects. So I'm going to select them both. Okay? I'm going to right click. I'm going to say group, and bam, done. Now, when I select this, it selects the whole thing. Okay? Beautiful. Now, I want to write text on here. So I'm going to go here, not select the object now, okay? Because if I do that and say PC1, okay, in the middle of the object, that's where it's going to be placed. We don't want that because it looks nasty. All right? So I'm going to select text and then select anywhere. Oops. Okay, it needs to be highlighted. All right, and then I'm going to select anywhere. All right, either click or double click, and then I'm going to say PC1, IP address 192.168.1.1. All right, I'm going to click off the screen, go back to my pointer tool, okay, bring this here. Now, this needs to move with all my objects, so all I'm going to do is select this, hold the control key to select another object, which will be this one. Notice that they're selected together. Okay, right click. Oops. Right click. Group. Group. Now, I want to undo what I have done, okay, because I made a mistake. That's going to be your Control Z. Okay, notice how it went right back. Everything you do is recorded, and you can only go back but so far. If I want to go forward, okay, all right, see how far it goes back? All right, if I want to go forward, it's Control Y. All right, so you can, and notice it kind of messed up, so we never got back to the PC. I don't know why I did that. I've never seen that before, but then nonetheless, okay, at least you got back to the point where all you got to do is add the text box back there, and we can do that, okay? And I have to double click here to get that to work, by the way, to bring up this text box. All right, enter 192.168.1.1. All right, now back to my pointer tool. Okay, I can also move these down with the arrow keys. If I want to move it faster, I zoom out. See that? A lot faster, huh? Okay, all right. And I have control on where this gets placed. If I want to be more fine of the control, to move it just a little bit, just a little bit at a time, I zoom in. Okay, plus zooming in lets you see exactly how to make it nice and in the center. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and select by holding the control key. I'm gonna select both objects again and right click on the object this way, bring it up there, and then group. Notice that when I clicked here, I guess I wasn't clicking on the object. All right. You know, you'll get used to it after a while. Now, this object is selected. I want to get deeper in the selection. So I click again. Okay. Now the outer box, which is a dotted line, okay, that is these two or this object, which is now an A object now, not two objects, okay, because I grouped them. All right. So it's a group of these two objects, okay, within a group of this object. Now I want to go even deeper with the switch. Okay, so now I can make changes to that switch. Now, check this out. All right, let's go ahead and as I hold down the control key and click on this object and move it over, guess what happens? It copies it just like that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to ungroup this. Ungroup it. Okay, I did ungroup it again to bring me back to where I was. All right, and I'm going to put a name on this switch. All right, and I'm just going to select it and just start typing. Switch Kyle. All right, I was going to put switch one, but okay, now check this out. I'm going to click the object. All right, and take this yellow dot, because that yellow dot is what your text is. And I'm going to zoom in so I can actually select it. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and grab it. And I'm going to place it right here. Now. Okay. Now I can actually bring it up here if that looks better. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to, I don't think I can do that. Okay, so that's pretty much what you have. All right, and this kind of works when you're dealing with just square boxes, but this is on an angle. So you know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to delete that. I didn't mean to delete the whole thing, so Control Z. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and double click to get that text box to come in, delete it. Okay, and select out of it, so now it's gone. All right, and I'm going to create my own text box. And I'm going to say, it's funny how sometimes Visio just does what it wants. Notice I didn't click on it, it just came up. Okay, which is awesome. So I'm going to say switch Kyle. And I'm going to take this first. Oh, I see what it did. Okay, I had it selected. Okay, so let's go ahead and Control Z. Okay, and select my text box and bring it over here. Now you see it's a different text length because now I'm actually clicking on the actual canvas. All right, and still having the switch selected. So switch Kyle. All right, and what we're going to do is we'll go back to our pointer tool. All right, we are going to zoom in, and I'm going to go ahead and shorten this box until it is as short as possible with it being on one line. Okay, so I'm just going to move it a couple, bam. All right. There we go. Now, I'm going to take this and I'm going to bring this over here. I'm going to put this in the center here. All right. But I'm going to take this icon right here until the mouse changes, and I'm going to flip it twice to give it an angle so it can fit on the side. And now my thing is labeled. Now, if I move this, guess what happens? That stays there. Okay, so now let's Control Z, select, and select by holding the Control key, selecting every item separately. Okay, or I can do this, box it around, right click, group, done. Now when I move it, check that out. Okay. All right. So now We're going to go ahead and select all this. Go ahead and group. We'll go ahead and select all this. Oh, that's already grouped. Okay. All right. So now let's bring this up here. Bring this down here. Okay. Notice as I'm bringing it as that imaginary line. Oops. Notice as I'm bringing it in, that imaginary line is centered. That's where I'm going to leave it. So my diagram looks nice and sweet. Same here. Okay. Notice at the top, and I'm centered where I want to be. All right. Now, take my line tool, find my square. Boom. Okay. Now, that's not centered. All right. So now let's go ahead and take my pointer tool, select. All right. And move it over until the line is nice and thin and straight. Okay. All right. I'm going to go ahead and connect my devices here to here, here to here. Okay. And now I'm going to go ahead and straighten up my lines. All right. Now you know why the grid is so important. All right. So there we go. Now I can go ahead and select this whole thing. Oops. Let's do it again. And go ahead and group it. Notice I went to the cloud because that's the biggest space that I could actually click on. All right. To right click. All right. And now my whole object is moved. However, let's go ahead and ungroup first. And let's hold the control key to select. Let's ungroup this too. Okay. And ungroup this. And select. I got to ungroup again. All right, good. Select our object, hold the control key, select, select, select. Okay. Let go of the control key, right click, and bring to front. And all our lines disappear. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and select everything and go ahead and group. Okay. We just created our first diagram. Now, on this particular line here, I'm going to go ahead and select the line itself. All right. And I'm going to say FA00. Okay. Assuming that both of these interfaces are FA00, which it can't be. Okay. All right. Well, technically it could be, it can be. Okay. Because the PC is not going to have. All right. And look how that thing actually goes right on the line. Now I can actually bring this. Actually, no, I can't. Okay, so now another way of doing this. Let's go ahead and select this line. I select the object, then go deeper by selecting the line. All right, meaning that I would need 2 clicks. And I'm going to go ahead and double click the line. Okay, and that's not working. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit enter or just start typing something to erase that. All right, that's what I had to do to get into that box. All right, there's nothing there now, so I'm going to go ahead and hit escape, and now it's gone. What I like to do is I like to make my text boxes like this, F00, okay? I have to go here, bring this down, and again, zoom in to see, okay, zoom out, bring it over here. That way I'm not using the scroll to move back and forth, okay? Let's bring you down, just so it has enough space. You need space underneath, okay? All right, and go ahead and make sure you just got it as short as possible. All right, and now we're going to go ahead. As it's being selected, I'm going to go ahead and go to this fill line and select my color. Okay. And now I'm going to go ahead and replace this right underneath here. And notice how my dots are lined up with the line, my squares here. Okay. And also notice that it is covered. So there's no line going through my text. Okay. All right, so now There's no interface number needed on the PC. Okay. However, I'm going to need this here. All right. I'm just holding the control key to make a copy. All right. Holding it the whole time. All right. Go ahead and use my arrow keys, center it. All right. Control key, move straight up. Okay. Move over. All right. Now this is not going to be a F00. I just go ahead and I double click inside here to bring up the text box, and then I do a 1 because switches start with a 1. Okay. I'm gonna come over here. I'm going to put this right on the line here, okay, FA01, because obviously it's a different interface and it's not going to be the same, okay. Bring this over here, okay. Now you also notice that this is not even, this line is not even with this. That's okay. Some people like to have it that way, all right. It just makes it easier on the eyes, all right, and you just move this bad boy up. Okay. Or let's do it this way first. Let's select that line. Let's get in there. Select it again. All right. Let's go ahead and move our line up. Right there is fine. Or let's zoom in so we can get it even better. And I like to use measurements. Okay, first of all, let's take a look at this because this is not straight. Okay, we can't have that. So let's go back over here and let's go ahead and select this object, which is not grouped because it's all grouped together. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take this object by selecting the group and going deeper. Okay, and we're going to bring this down just a little bit until that line is straight. That means I have to straighten this up as well by selecting and moving. Okay, this is okay. All right, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a guideline so I can see how this is straight, or I'm just going to take this, all right, and just stretch it out, see how it gives you a guideline. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and put that there on the line, select this line again, bring this back, okay, all right, making sure it's straight, and just leave it there because we're actually going to bring this cloud, we're going to move it forward, okay. And now I'm going to go ahead and select this switch. Oops, our lines are not connected. Or they are connected. Okay. No, they're not. I'm not on the square. There we go. Okay. So now I'm going to straighten out that line. Bring this up to be even. Okay. Move this bad boy over here and go ahead and select this cloud and bring it forward to get rid of the lines. So behind the scenes, it can be messy as hell. Okay, that's why you want to bring the objects up. Okay, I need one more interface. All right. And that's F800. Now, check this out. I'm going to go ahead and hold control to copy this object. And I'm going to go ahead and stretch this out just a little bit. Double click in there and say 192.168.5.1. Okay. All right. And I'm going to make it a little bit longer so it's all on one line. All right. And let's go ahead and place that bad boy right there. Wait for that line. All right. It's not even. So go ahead and put those squares on the line. Notice how it's a little bit off the line. Let's scroll in even more. All the way. Now it's in the center of the line. Look how it moved in a shorter distance. Okay. So now, okay, I'm going to select my device and bring it over. Okay. All right. Notice how I'm even with that using my guidelines. Okay. And I'm right on the money. So I'm good. Okay. And this is going to be 3.1. Okay. And obviously I'm going to move it up. I just use the guidelines just to get me even. Okay. All right. But if this was at the same, as this object here was the same space, or this is here, okay, or, okay, let's say I did want a uniformed. I can actually extend this work switch by moving it down, okay, all right, move this PC down, move this down, all right, I'm just using my arrow keys here, all right, they're already in the right spot, all we got to do is just move them down, all right, let's move this down, okay, and now I can go back, all right, and center my piece in perfect line with it, move my object over until the squares hit, move this down until I got my spacing, okay, all right, which is going to be the same as this. So let's go ahead and move this one up, all right, and let's go ahead and move these up 3 spaces since I hit the key 1, 2, 3, okay. Now, it's not, look at the guideline here, all right, on your grid. That's not 100%. So let's go ahead and do this. Actually, it is 100%. My bad. Okay, and now let's move this. Now, what you have done, since you put them in the right spot, now the spacing between these 2 boxes is the same as this. Okay, all right. And now we have to move this one over because what you're noticing here is that this line here is hitting this line, but that's not what it's doing over here. So we're going to go ahead and move this over because our squares are not there. Okay. All right. And we're not being able to get in the center. So we're going to zoom in again. Okay. And that's just a little bit off. Okay. But I'm okay with that. All right. To the naked eye, it looks pretty even. All right. So we're even across the board. Does that make sense? Except this one is not as close as it should be. All right, that's better. All right, and now we're going to take this and bring it over here because what we're going to do here is, I'm hitting the wrong key, I'm hitting the start key. All right, we're going to go ahead and move this up. Okay, and let it sit on the line there. All right, move this over, okay, and give it a public IP address. All right, whatever our ISP is going to give us. All right, we're going to go ahead and select it, and we're going to say 71.1.3.89, okay? All right. And now we're at another site here, so we're going to go ahead and copy this over. Okay, make it even with the guidelines. Select this one. Okay. Now, I could just move it up, or I can actually make it even with that one. Okay, notice the spacing is the same. Okay. All right. And then just go ahead and move this close like I have this one. Okay. And you can see those spaces a little bit off, but that part's fine because I can zoom all the way in. Okay. And go ahead and move over a little bit, zoom out. Okay, as you can see, it's right there on the money. That spacing and that spacing, okay? All right, so now, another problem I have is this is actually going into my cloud. So now I'm going to go ahead and select this here, here, and here, and move this back. Okay. All right. As you see, everything is getting messed up. Okay. Control Z, select my PC, as well as this, and this, and this. And I'm just going to go ahead and select all this. And not make it that complicated, and just move it down. Okay. All right. And then I'm going to actually select here and here. Now, since I zoomed in, the spacing is not going to be the same amount of keystrokes. Okay. Because I zoomed it in. If I was smart, I would have left it there and used the exact same amount of keystrokes. Okay. All right. So as you can see, all right, F1 is okay. Let's go ahead and move this over some. Actually, that looks good. Let's go over here. I can just go in a straight line. Yeah, that's good. If I want to actually do a guideline, all right, I take this, go from edge to edge. Okay, got my guideline. All right, and then I'm going to actually take this, move it, zoom out. Not too far because I won't be able to grab the object. So let's go ahead. Actually, we can do this. Since we have it selected, let's go ahead and move it over. Notice I zoomed out, so the spacing between the movements is a lot more. Okay? I'm going to go ahead, move it up, hit that space, and it's pretty good. Okay? All right? Go ahead and delete that. That's my spacer. I'm good on that. All right. And now besides this one, okay, let's go ahead and move this back over. Look how slow it's going, but I'm okay with that. It's just, seconds of my day. All right. And now I've created a network diagram that has explanation of my interfaces, my IP addresses, and my network symbols. Okay? Now, let's talk about something else that's important, that is extremely powerful. All right? And that, my friend, is the pencil tool. We're going to go ahead and grab that pencil. And this is what we're going to do. We're going to create a line. A straight line here. Okay, now watch this. I'm going to click on the pointer. Okay, I'm going to hold the control key. All right, and hit this line right here. Hold the control. Look how it changed. All right. Oh, I'm sorry. I think I got to be on the pencil. Give me a second. I do have to be on the pencil. My bad. Okay, go onto this line, hold the control key, and click. Notice what happened. It gave me 2 points. Now, check this out. Look what I just did. Okay? Now, I just created an angle. I'm going to go back over here to the pointer tool and go ahead and move the object around the way I want to. Okay, I can shrink it if I want to. Okay, but I'm going to go ahead back to the pencil tool. All right, and go ahead. Hang on, guys. Hang on. I'm trying to figure out how to do this. I don't want to extend the shape. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Okay, let's go back to the pointer tool. Let's go back to the line tool. No, that's not what I want to do. That's not what I want to do. Okay, you know what? Let's do it this way. I'm going to go ahead and control again and go ahead and hit it there and on this end. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and bring this bad boy down here. Okay, and I'm going to bring it to the edge. All right, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this point. All right, that's not working either. How would I do this? All right, there's a way of actually, because I need this line to go down, because I want to use my pencil tool to make this angle with a straight line here. Okay, and let's see. Ba, 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 ba. Notice I changed the color of the line. Okay. You know what? I have to figure out how I used to do that. Okay. All right. Because I need to be able to move this object, and there's a way of doing it. All right. Let's go ahead and control and click again. Move this out. Okay. Notice how I changed the shape again. Okay. With this tool. This means, guys, you can make anything with this pencil. That's why it's called a pencil tool. And you want to know what you can make? Let me show you guys how detailed I get with Visio. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open up something that is my creation. All right. For a particular contract that I was on. And you're going to about to be amazed. All right. So let's go back here. Data. Visio. And wait until you see this. Okay. I want you to sit back. Okay. I want you to sit back and take a breather on this one. Because what I'm going to do is also show you the interfaces that I've created. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and zoom in there. All right. Does this look familiar? All right. This is me line by line with the line tool. Okay. All right. Let's bring it up to a real router and see how it compares. All right, we're going to go ahead and scroll it over. And look how she just fits right in there. All right, and now we're going to bring this to the front. Bam. To the back. Bam. 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 Okay. All right, let's go ahead and move this out of the way. Guys, I want you to understand every one of these things, every circle has been drawn. Look at that. Okay. All right. Look how I grouped them. But it started off with this. Okay. All right. And then I bring them side by side, group them in a line, bring the line right up here, use a spacer, like my little line like I told you before. Look, I even created the screws. Look at that. Okay, not bad, huh? All right, this is what happens when you get good with Cisco. Look, I even got the writing on there. All right, guys, this is what we do, guys. Okay, look, I even got my little USB symbol on there that I created. All right, look at that. You can tell that's not a normal symbol, right? Because it's crooked. All right, okay, I got my console port. I got my interface, and look at the screws that I created. Okay. All right. And you can see how crooked it is. Okay. Because look, this does not line up with this. If this was a stencil, this would be perfect. Okay. But it doesn't need to be perfect. All right. It really looks like a Phillips screwdriver head on top of the screw. And it looks like a screw. This is the power. The real power. Okay, and I'm not kidding. The real power of Visio. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to close this. I'm not going to save it. All right. This is something that I still use today. That's why it's on my local machine. Okay. And I'll just email it to myself at work and then, use that as, you know, uh, uh, as creating my diagrams. All right. And check this out. Let's do this again. Let's go ahead and open this up. File, open. Let's go back and bring this back up. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and select this. This, my friend, is just a picture that I got from this particular website. You can see the watermark on there. Okay. And I use this as a means of duplicating a real router and how it looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this. I collect this. I'll select it. Do a Control C. All right. That's going to copy it. I'm going to go ahead and close this document. Don't close this one because you'll close the application. Close this one to close out the file. Going back to my other file that's in the background and just go ahead and paste it. Okay. Now, here's the thing. Sometimes when you create, if you don't group things right, okay, when you go to shrink as you see, I selected it and I'm going to go ahead and shrink it. Okay, look, see that? Because I did not select the whole thing. I selected, look at the dotted lines. I'm not selecting the object, the whole object that I grouped together. I'm inside. So Control Z brings it back, select off, go to my pointer tool, okay, select, and now go ahead and resize. Okay, now let's Control C. What I want you to understand, let's say it doesn't work. Some way you can't get this thing to resize. Okay, well, let's go ahead and go to the snippet tool. All right, and let's go ahead and first of all, let's cancel. Let's zoom in to the point where it's on the whole entire screen. You can actually be very specific, okay, by going to the zoom button, okay, and typing in, let's put 125. Hit enter, okay, all right. Let's go over here, select the object and just move it over, okay. All right, yeah, I know I clicked on the scroll button thinking I was going to move it over with the arrows, but that was a mistake. All right, luckily I had it here. Now I have it all in one screen. Go back to the snippet tool. Now remember, this is what happens when your object that you created doesn't act right when you're trying to resize. All right, we're going to go ahead and put my corner here. All right. And go ahead and select. Give me a little tiny bit of space. Okay. It's in my clipboard now. I'm going to go ahead, zoom out, Control V to paste, and resize because this is now a picture, guys. Okay. It's not an object. It's a picture. See, there is no ungrouping. You can ungroup all you want, but there's nothing to ungroup. Okay, we're here, right? Ungroup, see what happens? All right. Okay. So that's a way of getting around the resizing issue because there will be moments, okay, where you know what? That's a good thing, guys. Let's go. Let's go ahead and let's go ahead and select this, and let's make this bigger. Okay. All right, and I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to select the gray square or rectangle. Oops, and delete it. Now you see all my individual objects. Okay, within this object, okay, I can go ahead and hold the control key, move that object, right? Ungroup it, all right? Take this object, oops, sorry, move this over here because it's ungrouped now, okay? Ungroup this, okay? And now you can see, all right, that each one of these lines was part of the group. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and ungroup this. And now you see that each one of my items that I had made, which were little circles, okay, that I had put in line and grouped. So now, this is my new grouping. And voila, I've made a new set of vent holes. Okay? So keep in mind, I started off with this. All right? Right? I did a copy. Oops. Select this. Control C to copy. Control V. I bring this up. The spacing that I want. Okay? I select them both. Copy. Paste. Okay? The spacing that I want. Okay. Copy, paste. You get the idea? All right. That's too close, but who cares? All right. Copy, paste. Okay. And as you see, as I'm building my row, okay, I'm getting just as long as my other one. All right. Go ahead and copy again. Copy, paste. Okay, and now I've made my entire line. Yes, I know it's off kiltered. Grouped them together, and now I have a whole line. Then I put these, and then I copy the line, copy, paste. Okay, bring it underneath. All right, copy, paste. Okay, move it up a little bit, and now I've created my 4 rows. Okay, it kind of messes with your eyes because it's a little off. It looks wavy, doesn't it? Which it is because you have your brain is perceiving it as a wave because of them being so many things that you got to perceive and take into your eyeball, and your brain has to perceive it. And so now. So as you can see, this doesn't have to take you months and months to do. Okay. All right. This right here, let's go ahead and copy this. And let's break it down. Okay. And we're going to break it down just to show you how I did this. All right. Ungroup. All right, it's grayed out, so there's nothing there. So I'm gonna go ahead and move this over here. Okay. All right, and I use this with there's nothing to ungroup with the pencil tool. This made the shape. Okay. All right. I have actually now check this out. Check this out. Okay. Let us do this. Let's zoom in. Okay, as far as we can. All right. Let's go ahead and take a line. And we're going to go ahead and give us a guideline here. All right. We're going to take a look at our shape to make sure that our width. All right. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and copy this. Oops. Pencil tool. Pointer tool. Copy. Paste. What happened? Control Z. Let's go ahead and hold the control key and just copy it this way. All right. I'm going to actually bring this straight up. Okay. I'm going to change this color to gold. or orange here, okay, I am going to move this up, move it over, hold the control key to copy, okay, move it into place. Oh, wow, I wish I wouldn't do that. Okay, let's not do it that way. Let's actually just, no, can't do that. So let's go ahead and select, hold the control key, and just go ahead and bring this over, okay? Control Z whenever you make a mistake, okay? All right. And let's see how this looks when I zoom back out, okay? Look at that. I got pins now. I got the pins inside the RJ45 jack, okay? Now, obviously, they are too many, okay? So let's do it like this because we got 8 pins. If I want to be specific, right, because that's what we want to do, all right? Hold the control key, select. Ah, well, stop doing that. Always use control key to get back to where you were when things mess up, because things will mess up. Control, delete. Okay, let's do it this way. Let's go ahead and select these. Let's move this down. All right, let's go ahead and do it this way. Go ahead and get rid of these. Delete. All right. I'm going to go ahead and move this down to this guideline here. All right, I'm about 1 square in. All right, using my grid. That's about 1 square in. Okay. All right. I am going to take a look at this grid. Matter of fact, all right, and 1, 2, 3. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 5. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Notice I'm using these boxes. 55, 60, 65, 70. So about 35, 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? All right? Now, okay, this is going to be something that I'm going to have to do it this way because I don't want to move my mouse. I don't want to lose it. Okay? All right? And then I'm going to keep my mouse there and move. Oh, because it actually moved. So fine. Let's go ahead and shorten this now. All right. 5, 10, 15, 20. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's going to be this line here. Okay. And that's where I'm going to put my marker. And now that's my middle spot here. Okay. Now, because what I'm trying to do is make this even. All right. 1, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. So what's that? 17, 5, 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I already have that line selected. I'm going to go ahead and bring it over. Okay. And bring me another pin. All right. Now I'm going to use this line as a guide between them. Okay. And move this over. Control C to copy and place it right there. And move it over, okay? And now, 5, 10, 15, okay? I'm going to go ahead and do 5. 10, I'm sorry, okay? That's not really even, so I'm going to go ahead and eyeball this. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8. That's 8 pins. All right, so now this is what we have to do. Okay, this is our halfway mark. What we're going to have to do is bring these down, create me a guideline here. Right on that line, bring it over, make sure it's straight, change the weight or the width, okay? And count these lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. That should be 17. 5, 10, 15, 16, 17. So it's that line there. Let's have this selected and do it again. All right. 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, hold on. Let me back up here. You know what? Let me put my glasses on so I can actually see the lines. Dumbass. All right, so they are much better. All right, so 5, 10, 16, 17. Okay. All right. But that's not a half mark. What are we doing wrong here? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. That should be 17. Okay. So now this bothers the hell out of me, and I got to get it right. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and delete this, eyeball this. Okay. And that's about right about there. All right. And go back to my pointer tool because I get tired of making a mistake there. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, obviously, trying to put 8 pins in there is not going to work. So let's go ahead and get this centered. Let's get this centered. Let's get this centered. Okay. And we're just going to have those many pins to keep it uniformed. Go ahead and select those. Get rid of this guideline. Okay. All right. Bring it up. Straight up. And let's go ahead. Okay. And let's give this bad boy a little bit of weight. All right. Now we have our pins. Okay. Go ahead and select all that. Let's go ahead and group. And let's bring our box back over here. Okay. Zoom in to center it off. All right. And now what you have done is you have made a custom interface. Okay. That you've created. All right. And this makes your diagrams look beautiful. Okay. All right. Does that make sense? Now, that needs to be redone okay, because it should be only 8 pins in there if you really want to be specific, okay? All right. But as you can see how detailed I really am and how powerful Visio really is when you take it to that level. All right. End of the video, guys. Be strong, be determined, be Cisco.